Welcome to the Coach Speak podcast, built for coaches, by coaches, hosted by Jamie Bolton and Dustin Martin. Sponsored by Ray Crowther, providing the nation's best athletic training equipment since 1932. And R4 Football Systems. Accelerate everything by decoding the game.
Hey guys, welcome back to Coach Speak. Dustin Martin here with Jamie Bolton. Have a super special guest near and dear to my heart, one of my high school coaches, invited to his wedding, and he also attended my wedding earlier this year. Means the world to me, Coach Brian Mahan. But before we get going, we'd like to shout out to our sponsors, Team Builder, Tsunami Bar Sports, and we also have a new partnership as of today with Dome Headwear. So we got some Coach Speak hats cooking, and if you haven't seen, we have a BSN Team Shop link to get you some Coach Speak merch.
Yeah, guys, a few coaches have a resume like Coach Mahan. He started out in 1997 at St. George, became a head coach early in his career at Woodland, and since then he's been an OC, a DC, a head coach, athletic director, you name it, at schools like Georgetown, Dunbar, Union County, Woodruff, and now J.L. Mann. And beyond the sidelines, he's also built an online following through the Coach Approach HQ. It's a platform that's all about educating, motivating, and helping coaches and athletes navigate today's game the right way. He's passionate about player development, program culture, and one of the biggest topics out there right now, helping high school athletes get recruited the right way. Coach, welcome to the show.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate y'all having me.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. Coach, well, I played for you and coached alongside you back in 2015, that year at Georgetown. And so we want to kind of open the show and just kind of ask you, you've coached both sides of the ball. Where do you think your heart lies? What do you think you truly, I know you were offense for a long time, and then towards the last few years you were defense. So where's your heart lie?
I'd say my heart lies just in the game. I love coaching both sides of the ball. I cut my teeth on the offensive side, obviously, but there, starting in 2013 with Coach Adams, he asked me to take over the defense, and that was fun. I enjoyed trying to stop people. Keyword there, trying to stop people. Coaching defense is a hard thing to do, but it's fun. And, I just enjoy coaching ball. That's the fun part for me.
No, and I get that. And, being coaching offense and the defense most recently, earlier this year, we thought I was going to be on offense with Jamie, and it had been a couple years. I would shoot the breeze with Caleb each week about offense when we coached together, but it had been a little while since I was on the offense side, and I was excited about it. And then I ended up back on defense. So I would say growing up as an offensive player and an offensive mentality, I think my heart lies on the defensive side, and it's weird, but I think it does.
Hey man, you guys just go out there and call base. Hey man, base.
There you go, base.
And if they don't, look, if we don't make the play, that hey man, we can't tackle.
That's right.
Look, we can't guard them.
If you can't play your base defense and tackle out of that, you're in trouble.
Yeah, offensive guys, man. Hey man, it's play call, man. We can't run the ball, man. It's play call. We can't pass the ball. It's play calling.
Yeah,
no, that's fun.
I agree, though.
It's called Jimmy's and Joe's.
Yes, sir.
No doubt. And it's a lot easier to call plays on offense when you got them. And it's a lot tougher when you don't got them.
That's you're sitting there and you're having a tough night and you go, okay, guys, what you got for me?
Cricket.
Oh yeah. No.
Second 16, guys. What are we thinking here?
Yeah.
What's funny is like a lot of fans probably don't understand, but it's like 3rd and 27, and you're like, all right, let's hand the ball off. Don't put the quarterback bad situation. Let's punt it. And like everybody's like, that's what we're calling on 3rd and 27. It's like, what do you want to call, buddy? Like there's nothing else. There's no 3rd and 27 play.
Remember, there's 3 things bad that can happen when you drop back and throw the ball, and two of them ain't really good.
That's exactly right. But Coach, before we jump in to our first segment, which is helping high school athletes get recruited, we want to talk about our sponsor, Tsunami Bar Sports. I want to highlight a company that's redefined how we train those athletes in the first place. This episode is brought to you by our partner. They're the leader in innovative strength training. Their patented flexible bar technology is changing the way athletes build explosive power, stability, and control. Whether you're coaching a high school football team, training collegiate athletes, or grinding in your garage gym, Tsunami Bar has the tools that meet every need. The beauty of it, you just lift it. You move it, it forces athletes to stabilize through the entire range of motion, building real-world power that transfers directly to the field. Visit TsunamiBarSports.com and see why elite programs around the country are making the switch. Mention Coach Speak Podcast when you reach out. Tell them we sent you Tsunami Bar Sports. train different, play different. But yeah, coach, so you've been a huge advocate for helping high school athletes get recruited. What's the biggest misconception families still have about the recruiting process?
It's not just a single one. There's like 4 or 5.
Mm.
One is talent alone is going to get me what I want, and that's further from the truth as it can be. The other one is grades really don't matter, which all 3 of us know that's probably number one. That's going to be your number one thing. And then coaches can contact me anytime. Why aren't they contacting me? They're not responding. They have limitations. Then there's social media doesn't matter. And that's probably the number 2 killer for young athletes these days. These programs, they have someone to go there, and that's all they do is watch the social media of the recruits. And if they say one wrong thing, post one wrong thing, they're off the board. And just people don't realize that. And then, of course, there's the full scholarship goal, which, you'll really only get that in basketball and football. You combine that, and, it's a lot to remember for parents and athletes that it's really those 4 or 5 things that are going to determine whether or not you get what you want. And, having the grades, having the clean social media, having the highlights pinned in your social media profiles, having your grades and your transcripts right. And then not only that, but qualifying academically for the institution that's recruiting you. Everybody forgets that you got to do that too.
Yeah. And well, I don't think young people really realize you could do 99 things right on social media, and that one thing you repost that's wrong can really set it off for you, unfortunately.
Yes.
And like you said, it's you got to be so conscientious of what you're liking, what you're reposting, and it's like, even us as adults, you know what I mean? You can feel a certain way and it's not wrong, but if you represent a certain organization or a school or a district, you can't go out there and shout and protest the way you want about what you believe in at times. And that's
Exactly
something
right.
we got to start with younger kids. Like, listen, you have freedom of speech 1000%, but everything that you say represents you, your family, your team, your organization. And I think that's something we got to be even more intentional about with these young people. Listen, it's so much easier at the click of a button to hurt yourself,
That's right.
keyboard warrior,
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. There's 6 tight ends on the board and they're all about the same. Then, the coaches are looking for a reason to move you down the board.
That's
And
exactly right.
it's the market is flooded with great players that have a personal trainer, that have a good program, that run a 4.6, 4.5 40, that can catch the ball. There's just tons of it out there. So I think it's a really a good message to send out to your kids about that. Coach, do you guys have something that you hand out to your student athletes that kind of outline this specifically? Or have you heard of any kind of resources like that?
We
I know coaches use some pamphlets, but how do y'all do that?
Yeah. We actually have on our main athletic website, we have an area specifically for college recruiting and recruiting tips. And one of the things we have on there is about social media. We have what you should be doing your freshman year, your sophomore year, your junior year, and then what do you need to be doing your senior year. And it's everything from academics to social media to highlights, and it's all right there at the click of a button for all of our players and our families. And then we add a few more resources in there, like, what do I do with these four offers right here? How do I decide? So there's a sheet that we've created to kind of help walk them through that, what kind of questions they need to ask them, help them whittle it down to, what's the best fit for them.
Yeah, that's so beneficial. And, I didn't know until stepping into this AD role a couple months ago how different the recruiting world is by sport in high school.
Yes.
Because, as far as football goes, some of it's camp exposure, but it's coaches are coming to the school. They're meeting with your head coach. They're coming to establish those relationships with you. And then I sit down with my one-on-one meetings with all our head coaches. And the first thing I asked, I said, listen, I'm not an expert in tennis recruiting or soccer recruiting. Teach me so I know the entirety. And it's crazy how it's like, oh, well, if you're any good in tennis, you play in this league. It doesn't even have anything to do with the school. And it's like, if you're any good, you play in this league and this is how you get recruited. And I was like, wow. So then after going through all the sports that we have, the only sport similar to football is basketball. And then everything else is different. But and I think it's important if you coach multi-sport athletes, it's important to understand that. So if you're a football coach who coaches a guy that runs track, or maybe a guy that plays tennis, it is so important for you to know the crossover in recruiting to try to help that athlete the best you can.
Oh, 100%. You got to know where their love lies first, which one they want the most. And, that's the beauty about being a 2-sport athlete. And if you're one of those elite kids in both, you're pretty much going to have your menu and what you want as far as going where you want to go.
Yeah, we actually have a kid. He's a pretty good football player. He plays both sides of the ball, but he plays the snare drum, and apparently he's like super good, like snare drum player. So he does a good job managing it, and I think it's 50-50 for him. Like his heart's with both. And I only think there's maybe 3 or 4 practices this year. He's had to scoot out 45 minutes early or whatnot. But
yeah,
he's apparently, I can't wait to see him. But apparently he's like drumline good, like. So I'm excited.
What a great movie!
What a
great movie, man.
No doubt.
I'd like to watch that. So how, from an AD's perspective, what do college recruiters really want to see from a high school program? That could be any sport, but maybe kind of pour into football for our listeners.
Well, I think there's 3 or 4 things. One is the program holding them accountable? Is there discipline within the program? Because that's going to tell them that kid is coachable, and they're probably a team-oriented type player, which is what everybody is recruiting now. It's all about the culture at the next level now. Then I think, of course, the reputation of the program. Has it been the same head coach for so many years, or they have a revolving door? Unfortunately, that can hurt some kids' chances because the relationships just aren't there with the recruiters. And then, of course, the emphasis on grades, obviously. And being at JLO Mann, that's a pretty safe bet of most of our kids are going to be okay. And then, coaches who really communicate and advocate with those recruiters, advocate for the kid, communicate with the coach, hey, he's doing great. He's doing exactly what you asked him to do. He's got his grades up, his test scores are climbing, that type of thing. And, I felt like when I was a coach, that's something that I was very strong at, being able to communicate with those guys and letting them know, hey, he's doing really well. I hope you still have him on your board.
Right.
And I think he'll be a good fit for you.
Mm-hmm. And honesty is, and I think Coach Adams told me that my first year of coaching in 2015, he said, listen, man, he said, you have to be honest with the recruiters, or if you have one bad apple that you lied for, it's going to ruin the whole recruiting relationship.
Absolutely. Yeah, if that happens, then those coaches are unlikely to come back and see you.
Yeah, culture. You mentioned culture, and I keep hearing coaches talk about, like these college coaches talk about their culture and how important that is to them because they're getting so much turnover, whether that be, because of the transfer portal or whatever the case may be. But culture is such a big thing. I'm sure right now that's a premium for if you're going to take a chance on a high school kid, because now you got, now you're not just competing with all the seniors in your class, you're competing with all the other guys in the portal, the 3,000 other players in the portal. Let's say there's, 1,000 of them in your, at your position group that have been playing. But now, can you operate in a culture that they need? Are you going to transfer out when you get there? Those are questions I'm sure they're asking. And so as a football program, you can probably put yourself in a pretty good position with coaches if you have some of that consistency of accountability and things like you mentioned.
Yeah, that's right. And, and the bottom line is these guys want kids that are going to come in and compete and want to win right away and do everything to make everybody else better around them. That's the type of player they're looking for.
And I don't think it's a huge piece, but I do think the scheme that the school's running matters to an extent. And the reason I said, I remember when I got to Limestone, brand new program, 120 kids, like they were your modern spread, H-back, pro, inside zone power type run game. And we had kids that just ran double wing wedge, you know what I mean? And veer. And it was like, when we got there, that whole first 12 months, there were still offensive linemen who didn't understand zone schemes and zone steps and all of this. And I was like, I can see how that happens at a brand new program, but it's like, obviously if you're a triple option team, you're not going to recruit a drop back passer at quarterback. Like that's a given. But, each position has what they're looking for. And I know like Saban and them always just talk about it. They're looking for tall corners that can play a lot of man coverage, and that's what they're looking for. But I think the more known your program is in terms of attention to detail, the type of scheme you run, the coaches, I feel like the ones you get tight with, they're like, we know that they're getting coached at a high level. Like they're playing match coverage or they're going through a full field progression at quarterback. I think that matters a little bit. Probably not as much as people would think, but I do think it matters a little bit.
It does. But, you can also say, hey, Travis Etienne came from a double wing program.
Mm-hmm.
But he was just a heck of an athlete.
And it's probably position specific, right? I mean, obviously you want, and it probably also matters what level of college we're talking about too. Like, are they bringing kids in to develop? Are they bringing in kids to immediately play? And so if you're a smaller program that you need kids to play immediately and you're taking a high school kid that you're going to, he might have to be ready. But if you're a program that is going to develop players, then yeah, you probably could recruit an offensive lineman from a triple option scheme high school and then, try to transition them, but it's going to take a little longer, I'm sure.
And the perfect example I think of that, Jamie, is Hunter Renfro.
Yeah. From Saugus State.
He was a triple option quarterback, and he was a beast to try and just contain.
And punter and safety.
And
I think
punter
he played
and safety.
in high school.
Yes, he did it all.
I think it was my junior year or senior year. We were playing them for the region championship, and I remember he opened up one time to run inside veer one way, and the back went the wrong way, and he spun and went 60. Like he just was a freak. He's still a freak.
And that was the game. I think we also had to play him with a JV defense because we were missing about 8 or 9 guys, if I remember right. Yeah, his night was done after the first quarter.
It's got to be hard to evaluate, but there are certain positions like, okay, quarterbacks transition into DB or quarterbacks transition to wide receiver. We've seen that a lot, who Gilmore, Stephon Gilmore.
Yeah, Stephon, absolutely.
Darion Kendrick, just to name just a few that we've seen, but you never really see it the other way.
No.
You don't ever see the receiver being a quarterback.
I think the big thing is when college coaches see their size, their footwork, what their IQ is in that sport, they're like, okay, I can develop that guy.
Correct.
Let's go ahead.
Is he a ball player? I think they want to see, is he a quote unquote dog? Like, is he a ball player? Can he play football? And then with his body's type and the way that he moves, we can maybe develop him into a skilled athlete in another position. So I think that's what I always try to tell our guys. Like, yeah, you might be playing the slot right now. You might be an outside guy, but hey, man, you might be playing defense on the next level after going on special teams for 2 years and making tackles. Like, you don't know, but just be a good football player. It's like quarterbacks. It's like, don't just be a pocket passer. Like, go be a football player, man. Like, ask to get in there at safety and go make a tackle in a big moment.
We played Greenwood last Friday, and I had only seen their quarterback once or twice. Once in person last year, and he was kind of banged up. And then I only saw him a little bit on film the week before. And you talk about a kid who just took a game over. And he's committed to USC to play safety.
Love it. That's awesome, man. Like
he just
crazy.
Parents want to know what a D1 athlete looks like.
There you go.
There's your example.
He could do it all.
Coach, what's crazy is
takes it over.
Yeah, the bracket looks pretty much set unless there's like a few upsets or something. But there was a chance we were going to play each other, and I thought because I think this is going to release either round 1 or round 2. I can't remember, but man, I was like, oh man, this would be kind of cool. This would be cool.
From my understanding, we may get 1 or 2 of our kids back tomorrow night. It's a slight if. Hopefully, maybe next week. But yeah, we're just hurting right now.
It's that time of year, man.
I get it.
The old injury bug.
Thankfully, we got to buy. That's we're going to buy right now.
We went 10 straight games and kind of got through it, thankfully. So, what are some key mistakes like that parents make that maybe could hurt their kids' chance? This may be a hot topic, but maybe something that's really interesting for parents. I mean, and their role in all this.
It is, and I believe I've talked about it once or twice. And I think I got another video coming up on it. Especially parents who email coaches consistently over and over and over.
Mm,
It's like they don't want to hear from you. They want to hear from your athlete. And then of course you get the helicopter parents who are everywhere, wanting to talk to the coach more than they really want to. And, don't get me wrong, recruiters are recruiting the parents as well, because you gotta impress mama, and you gotta impress daddy too. But just the overbearingness sometimes of the parents can hurt the kid, unfortunately. And they don't mean to be wrong. It's just that's the nature of a parent, I believe.
I
That's
agree.
my baby, and I'm gonna make sure he's taken care of.
Yeah. Yeah. It's it's okay to be a concerned parent. There's nothing wrong with that. And there's nothing wrong to, like when you go on recruiting visits, they're interviewing you, but you're also interviewing them. And
That's right.
it is totally valid for a parent to try to find out as much as they can about where their baby is going to be.
That's right.
And all that. But there's also that fine line, I think, that you have to find. And
Yeah.
And you just never know when a coach is going to be present. That's the biggest thing. And there are parents in the stands who allow emotions to get to them. And I've heard where coaches are marking kids off the list because of the way the parent reacts to adversity in the stands. So that's a huge one that I've seen firsthand.
Especially at like the positions like quarterback. I think that's the number one helicopter parent. Typically, and look, we all know that. And but the number one thing that I was asked by recruiters about our quarterbacks that are getting recruited, not grades, not 40 time, how's mom and dad?
That's right.
Because they
Yep.
know that they're going to be how supportive are they? Are they supportive? Are they overbearing? Are they looking for a specific agenda that, is above and beyond what's appropriate, level of communication, all those things. And we had some iffy ones before. Like we've had some guys that are really concerned about that, which is interesting to me, but
Yeah. Just tell me about their family life.
mhm.
Yeah.
Yep. That's a big one, man.
It's a big one. Yeah. And I think it all comes down to, educating and empowering parents. And we did the best we could at our parent meeting this year before the season, new staff, new head coach. And he did a great job of allowing each coach to have a specific category to talk about. And, but speaking of educating, empowering parents, Coach, we appreciate what you do with the Coach Approach HQ, empowering and educating coaches. We'd like to shout out to our other sponsor who does the same as well, Team Builder, and that's exactly what they do. Today's episode is about the all-in-one strength conditioning platform trusted by over 3,000 programs worldwide. Team Builder gives coaches everything they need to program, track, and communicate with their athletes in season and off season. So if you're looking for that program where they can complete their workouts during intercession week or during the summer where you can track their progress, this is the platform for you. And you can get it free 30-day trial with the Coach Speak promo code. And we also have a downloadable link of an in-season workout in our link tree. So shout out to our sponsor, Team Builder.
Yeah, guys, we're in segment 2. Really going to dive into the Coach Approach HQ. This is Coach's online platform. And Coach, what kind of content seems to really resonate with the coaches online right now?
Well, it's more X's and O, I believe.
Yeah.
I'm not doing much X's and O's on there right now, but when I started this, it was more geared towards young coaches, trying to teach them the mistakes that I learned from. So a little bit it's about culture. A little bit is about, a way you speak to your kids. And basically it comes down to, would you want to have somebody talk to your kid like you're about to blow up on this kid right here? And you don't have to yell all the time. Then Dustin, don't say anything about that.
Personal
Sometimes you
experiences we're
have
sharing.
to. Sometimes you have to, though.
Yeah, sometimes you have to.
Especially if your name's Dylan Alford. You definitely, good buddy of mine that Coach knows, and man, he's an awesome guy. And I think he listens here and there. He's not coaching, but shout out to Dylan Alford. He got quite a few butt chewings back in the day.
Yeah, he did. Not from me, mostly from Coach Adams, but things like that. I think a lot of my audience is more younger coaches right now, and of course parents and players. Um, we can try and teach the old dogs some new tricks, and this one has learned a lot in the past 10 years. I think the way I coached when I was younger just doesn't work now. And I was real fiery, real in your face, because back then that's what motivated players. Now it turns them off. And, I always say this, players don't care about what you know. They only care about if you care about them, not how much you know, but how much you care about them. And I think as coaches, that's kind of where we're going to these days. And a lot of coaches do it very, very good. And that's obvious because, those are the programs that are up here right now. The ones that are trying to get there are getting there. But, I think a lot of that with the younger coach audience is really catching up.
Yeah, and I think the more you can learn about their parents will allow you to learn how you can coach them. Like my dad was the type, I know when he met Coach Adams, it was like, listen, if you need to jerk a knot in him, like you have my permission, do what you need to do, and I remember Coach Adams grabbed my face mask when I was like a 10th grader, and like my dad's just like, he needs to jerk it harder. Like, go ahead. That's how we grew up. Then my grandma's up there like, what's he doing? And my granddad's like, sit down, just sit down. Like, it's a different world.
Yeah, she did.
But Coach, it's, what's funny, you talk about trying to reach younger coaches, and, we don't care that much about data, but we do try to look at our data and our audience and try to plan. And, that's who we're trying to reach, but it's one of our lower categories, because, and we talked about it before, we've all been that 24, 25-year-old coach that's like, man, I don't need no podcast to tell me how to do this. Like, I got it, and I think where you use TikTok as a big part of your platform, it's funny because our kids will come up to Jamie or me, hey, I watch your podcast. Oh, really? What we talk about? Well, I watch the snippets that you post. Like and that's their attention span. It's 45 seconds to a minute, and then they're moving on. So, but we're trying to hit that target our age group a little younger. Right now, I think our main is like 27 to 37 or 44, something like that. But man, I just love it because I think that's who they are. Short attention. Oh, this is great. Let me click on this and go look through everything they have to offer. I think it's huge.
So yeah, for us, I mean, I think one of the biggest, I think obviously X and O's. That's why we don't do X and O's either. Like we'll kind of briefly touch base on that. We're not going to draw up plays. We might show something here and there, but really, what we feel like is resonating with our audience is guest speakers like you, like everyone, like all the other guest speakers we bring in that are really pouring into how to make your program better. Because if your program can be better, it's better for the parents, it's better for the kids, it's better for the community, it's better for all stakeholders, and then everybody can benefit from that. So we really appreciate you kind of pouring in through your coach approach, and how do you, one thing we always kind of struggle with too is like authentic, like are we coming off fake or whatever? How do you balance being authentic and educating while managing, a growing social audience? How do you kind of balance those two?
Well, I don't edit my videos that much unless I really get myself tongue tied at some point, and then I'll have to start and stop over.
Been there, buddy.
But I'll like the other day in the video, I kept on trying to repeat that quote of kids don't care about what you know, only about how much you care. I kept on stumbling over the middle part, and I was like, excuse me for a second,
That's right.
And I think that's what people want to see. They don't want to see you sitting there going, I don't want to do the, they don't want to see you reading off a script. It's, if you're authentic, you know what you're talking about. You're looking at the camera, or you're just kind of, using your hands, this goes back to teaching.
Yep.
Right. Dazzling with all this and that while you're talking. But I think, just being that type, don't edit, just let people see who you really are. And what I'm trying to be is just genuine and, trying to do what I can to help parents and players and coaches understand, hey, there's a way to do certain things.
Yeah.
And
it's kind of like, when they teach you about teaching, it's like, listen, you go in with the lesson plan, but understand about 5 or 10 minutes in, you're going to throw that thing out and you're going to be who
That's
you
right.
are and do
Mhm.
what you do. And that's kind of
Hey,
how
man, that's like a game plan. That's like a game plan. Hey, man, you come out here with your opening script and you got
Exactly.
shifts and you got empty and you got this. And hey, man, the next series, you're probably going to be lining up like you normally do, running your stuff.
I'll tell you, I think that's what helped me land the teaching job at Woodruff was, and the superintendent asked me this question. He said, how do you do this in the classroom and this on the field? I said, well, it's pretty much the same thing.
Mhm.
I said, my belief is a teacher is a coach and a coach is a teacher. And they just it's a crossover.
Yep.
And a lot of people
You got to
just,
be able to
especially
adapt.
a lot
You
of
got to
older
be able
teachers
to
don't really
adapt and move
understand
on.
Best
Yeah.
coaches are the best teachers who can
That's
teach
right.
it, not tell it. Teach
That's
it,
right.
not tell it. And, Coach, what is like I follow you mostly on TikTok. I know you're on Instagram and everything, and I see your TikTok videos a lot, and I listen to all of them. What is like one thing you have posted it recently that kind of took off or maybe went a little viral that you didn't anticipate? Like it might be something simple, but it really hits home. Like what's
Right.
one thing?
Well, I think talking about what was it? D3 academics.
Hmm.
That one kind of took off on me. I was kind of like, whoa, okay. And then there was one we were talking about what to do your sophomore year, because that's really the main year where your recruiting's really going to kick in. And I think that one had over 600,000 views. I was like, holy cow, where'd that come from?
That's awesome.
That's
That's
wild.
awesome. Yeah.
And then,
But that-
everything
yeah,
else
totally.
was like 1,500 views here and there. I've only had like
Yeah.
4 videos get above 300,000.
That's still
But-
awesome, man.
That's wild,
Yeah,
man.
I was like, and I was actually on vacation in Charleston when that video
Mhm.
hit. And I opened up just to check, see if I needed to answer any questions. I had like
Mhm.
300 messages. I was like,
Wow.
maybe I'm going to be a while. I'm going to sit right here and get some sun and answer these questions.
I just went viral. That's awesome.
But like it's at least, Coach, you went viral empowering people and
Exactly.
not viral just entertaining people. At least
Yeah.
it's something. But we had one. We try to post 2 to 3 snippets a week, and some of them are already generated by the platform we use to record. But some of them, when we're
Mhm.
recording, I will make a note while we're talking. I'm like, man, that's really good. We need to post that for people to listen to. But one was Jamie asked Drew Marlowe at South Florence. He just said, what do you think the most misunderstood thing about being a head coach is? And he says something along the lines of the weight of making decisions and how it impacts so many other people. Like that was one of our biggest ones that have went 20, 30,000 views, almost 1,000 likes. And it's just like something I've found is 2 things about social media, the good about it. One is people want to relate. People want to feel the same thing. And it's like every head coach that probably came across that, or someone in a leadership role was like, man, that's so true. Like when you make decision, it impacts everyone involved. And then the second thing is just the ability to access knowledge as fast as you can. It's like come across the coach approach. I can watch 20 of your videos and learn 20 things within 20 minutes. And then that's going to take me down the rabbit hole somewhere else. It's like, all right, what do I need to find more out about this?
Right.
And I love ChatGPT for the weird facts. I ask it all the day. I'm like, how's that done? And me and ChatGPT have about a 5-minute conversation, and I'm just going down the road of how does this work, especially buying a house. Oh man, it's my best friend. It's my best friend. Like, because I know if Jamie don't know how to fix it, ChatGPT does,
And usually I don't. I'm like, nah, man. I just give you my 2 cents. And but no,
Yeah. Chat, that has been my best friend as well as an athletic director.
oh yeah, the administrative things. I'm sure the administrative
gosh.
tasks just
You know,
insane.
and it's crazy that we talk about this because at the AD conference back in March, they had a guy come in and talk about AI. And one of the first things he said was, those who don't use AI are going to be replaced by those who do. And
That's a
so
good point.
this old dog started learning how to use ChatGPT and everything else with my wife's help.
Yeah, we actually have an episode coming up that we can't talk a whole lot about, but there's going to be some of the AI stuff that one of these companies is developing some really cool
It's-
prompts and software to help coaches. And I
Yes.
think that's going to be the next frontier that we're going to have to, hey man, it was huddle 10 years ago. Now it's freaking AI and
Yes.
huddle assist too.
yeah,
Like,
exactly,
Yeah, exactly.
exactly. So it's getting there. And but coach, now we're kind of talking about your role as an athletic director. How do you develop your coaches, not just to win games, but to lead programs? Are you really intentional about that? And I'm sure you are, but talk to us about that.
Well, I try to be intentional to the point where they don't think I'm trying to mismanage or micromanage.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I will not do is micromanage a coach. I'm going to let them develop their program. And, if I see something, administratively that I think they can do better, I'll just say, hey, have you tried this? And I mean, certainly we have guidelines, our mission statement, our vision statement that I want them to follow. But I've been in this position now 3 years, and I've hired 6 coaches, including a football coach now. And I made sure that when we did that, they were aligned with how we do things. Players first, academics, accountability, discipline, things of that nature. And as long as they have that going on, I don't feel like I need to step in and really do much. But again, like I said, if there's something I see administratively, I think they can do a little bit better. Great. I will be more than happy to help them out. But somebody asked me the other day, said, have you talk X's and O's with Coach Smiley? Not unless he wants to, and, we'll talk a little bit, but I just try to stay out of the way, because he's an excellent coach and we're going to get things turned back around. But you got to let your coaches coach.
Mm-hmm. That's why they were hired. And I like the fact that you talk about alignment. And I think it's really, really important. And Dustin just talking about his role as an AD and him going through that process of outlining exactly what's expected from his standards, but he also has values and principles that he wants alignment in. And I think as a head coach, you want to know those things, that way
Yes.
you can kind of measure yourself up. And it's like Dustin just said a minute ago, it's also an interview. Like if you're hiring a head coach, I'm sure he's also thinking about, okay, am I in alignment with what they want as well? And
Right.
and so that both parties can meet and feel really good about that. But I love the alignment piece.
Yeah.
And I think people misinterpret what alignment means. Alignment doesn't mean I got to get behind Coach Mahan and follow him wherever he goes.
That's right.
Alignment means we're just trying to achieve the same goal with the same values, and that's going to look different in every single program. Every
That's
head
right.
coach is going to be different. And on a football team, every assistant coach is going to be different, but we all got to be moving the same way, especially in times of emotions and times of adversity. We can't start veering off to our own path because we don't agree. And that's
right.
a big thing and something I truly enjoy doing. And, Jamie's a big culture guy that put me on a lot of good things in the past, but I started a leadership academy, and we take 3 to 5 kids from every team, JV and varsity, and we do it bi-weekly, 5 before Christmas, 5 after Christmas. And the first meeting, we talked about alignment, and we were talking to the kids about, listen, raise your hand if you think you can tell me the number one people who are misaligned the most. And one of the kids raised their hand and said, parents. I said, do you want to coach? Because you could be a coach right now.
You just hit the nail on the head, young man.
But and I think being honest with them, and even with parents, it's like, and then I asked who can raise their hand and tell me why, and nobody could raise their hand. And I was like, I said, here's why. Emotion is the biggest reason for misalignment. How you're feeling. I said, so when there are children involved and that's their baby, I said, it's harder to be objective and it's easier to be subjective. I said, they may not be misaligned on purpose. It may just be something that kind of happens.
That's right. And, we're getting ready. At the district level, we started a student leadership council. 2 kids from every school. We got 15 schools. And so that's 30 kids that are sitting on that council, trying to help us figure out what we can do better as coaches and athletic directors to make their experience a little bit better. Now, as soon as we get through the fall sports and basketball has their tryouts, and a wrestling coach who I just hired last week comes on board and gets his team, we'll get their nominations for our student leadership council at the high school, and then we can start having meetings. I purposely waited for that because you never know if they're going to make the team in basketball or wrestling or not. So you want that to happen, and then get the kids that those coaches really want on that leadership council, and then we'll start having meetings probably right before Christmas break or right before Thanksgiving.
Yeah, little easier to manage too at a school of 600 students. It's
A whole lot easier.
the hands-on part is a little easier for me. And hey, let's meet in one single classroom before school.
That's right.
You start getting to schools 15, 2,000, 2,500. It's like we might have to do a virtual academy, guys.
Yeah, and
figure it out.
And there's different
with
challenges.
24
I'm sure.
sports.
Yeah, yeah. And there's different challenges too. I remember we were at Cannon. I mean, one of the hardest things for especially parents that pay money to go to the school is managing their preferences. Like, where a lot of times it wasn't even like disagreements or grumbling about the major tenets of your program or athletics in general. It's like, I don't like how we do things, like how we do, uh,
Yeah.
Senior night or how we do. Like, there's always
time of practice on Labor Day.
It's like, just little things like that could be really challenging. And then those are the most persistent ones. Like, man, I got to get an email about Labor Day practice, or like, I got to get an email about.
Well, it's like, they don't
fundraising
understand. But it's like, you talk about we talk about the Labor Day practice time. What they don't understand is, okay, you're not the only parent voicing what you think we should do. It's like, all right, I have half the parents who say we're out of school. We need to practice early, get out the way so everybody can have the rest of the day. Then I have half parents saying, well, we want to travel to Nantucket on that weekend, coach, and we want to have time to get back Monday. So we need to practice in the afternoon. And I'm like,
That's right.
Either way, someone's not going to be happy with the decision. But I know this, we are practicing on Monday. I do know this. This. Yeah.
We had to, when we got to Woodruff, Coach Adams had to change how we did it on Labor Day because those kids and their families took off and went to the beach Friday night after the game. And so to not cut our own throat, because you know what our rules were, you miss a practice, you sit. We wouldn't start practice until 4:00 on Monday of Labor Day after everybody got home. And that was just it actually made all the parents happy. They could go out of town and do what they want. And we didn't cut our own throat by being stubborn.
And maybe it is important when you take over as a leader at a new school or a new program, you send out anonymous polls on things like that. And I know that sounds silly, but it's like, if 80% of the people voting say we should probably practice in the afternoon on Labor Day, it probably would be smart to schedule the practice in the afternoon. It's like,
that's right.
Create as many allies as you can.
Yeah, and you have to. You really
especially
do.
If you're not going to bend on your value. You're not bending on values.
No.
Like, that's not a value thing. But you might want to give into some preferences if you feel like you can win over some people, especially as a new coach.
That's right.
And I was thinking about this too. End of season evaluations. Like, as the OC, I'm going to send it out to my position coaches. And I was like, man, I'm not going to do like a poll or some kind of questionnaire, but because I wanted to have that one-on-one. But then I started thinking, well, maybe they may not feel comfortable enough one-on-one to have that, because I'm going to do both, right? But I like them to at least have the opportunity to say what they want to say, articulate it the way they want to articulate it, and then we can maybe talk about it if there's something like that. But I think those are having both the, like you said, Dustin, not necessarily anonymous, but something that they can sit down with, process, and then also have the ability to come in and speak about a solution to that. Like,
that's right.
There is no problem if there is no solution.
That's right.
Yep. Now, Coach, what are maybe some innovative things that you're doing at JL Mann that you're proud of? There's anything you brought to the program that, and it may not be anything like new, but just anything you brought that you're proud of that's made a difference?
Well, actually all 15 high schools are being innovative in this. Last year, we went through a quality program assessment by the NIAAA, which is the National Organization for Athletic Directors, 10-month program to which they look at everything your athletic department is about, from your emergency action plans all the way down to how you do your senior nights, how you put things out on social media. And I thought we brought in a lot of good stuff. I revamped some of the student handbooks and coaches handbooks things, along with the Greenville County stuff that you have to have in there. And I've come to find out it's not as good as you thought. And so this assessment really made all 15 of us as athletic directors look at our our programs and what we're doing and say, this can be much better. And that has, as a county, it's made all of us better as athletic administrators and what we're doing. That's where this Student Leadership Council came from, not only at the district level, but at the school level. There were a few of us that were already doing things like this. A lot of us weren't. And we're like, we need to get on board with this. This has got to happen because, like Jamie said, you got to involve all stakeholders. And everybody forgets that kids are stakeholders too.
I love
and
that.
you got to listen to kids. And so I think that has been great for all 15 of our high schools, especially JL Mann.
And one thing, when you include all your stakeholders and there's things that need to be improved, then people now have a data point to go to when you need resources to make that change. Like,
That's
this
right.
is why we're making the change. And now you're able to more effectively communicate that with all the stakeholders. Even if somebody liked maybe how things were going and you need to make an adjustment, hey, this is the reason we're doing that based on this third party, analysis. And then now
Yeah.
we could sell that to our, whoever it is, any stakeholder, to help us make that change possible.
Yeah. And one of our biggest stakeholders, of course, is our booster club, who does a tremendous job for us, raises a lot of money for us, gives us a lot of money. And, all they ask is that, we be open about where we spend that money and what we do. But I kind of redid something, and what the previous ADs were doing, there was nothing wrong with it. It's just, I thought this was a better way of doing it. I wanted the booster club to pay for all their wants. We want this, and this. And then over here is the athletic department. We're going to match it with their needs. So if the booster club gave $3,000 to boys lacrosse, I'm going to find $3,000 worth of stuff that they need and pay for that, and kind of do like the matching fund
That's
type
awesome.
thing. And that's been a success up until this year. We're kind of hurting right now, but we'll find a way to make things work. And we always do. But that has been something that I've been pretty proud at, is that we can give our teams and our coaches what they need to be successful.
Sure. And I think, what makes me the proudest when I think about things is the biggest compliment to me is when other programs or possibly other schools start doing things that your program or your school's doing. And it could be something as simple as when I was at Cannon, it was super important for me to know every kid's birthday and to post for their birthday on the football team.
Absolutely.
It was super important to me. Now, is it something I came up with? Absolutely not. I saw Kirby Smart doing it on Twitter. I was like, that's a great idea, Kirby. So
if he would have sang to him, would you have sang to him?
Oh, absolutely. And I'd have videoed it. Absolutely. Absolutely. But it's like, but then after about 6 months of doing it, the cheer program started doing it. And then I saw the basketball program start doing it. And it's like, not that I'm like, oh yeah, I started that. It validated this is important because other coaches are starting to do it because they see the importance in it as well.
I love that.
Yep. And that's kind of how I think about it. Because I've stole stuff from both of y'all. I can go ahead and tell you that already. Both of y'all have done things in the past that I've taken.
Well, and it's not really who came up with the idea or anything like that, because I'm not the most creative person when it comes up. I'm not going to think about, we need to go open up car doors but what I will do is I'll provide, somebody wants to give me the idea, then I'll provide the process for getting that done, communicating it, and I'll carry that on. So, but one of our things when I got to Cannon was, one, we have to establish some traditions, I think to create some excitement, to create some, I don't know how good we were going to be. We're going to be good at traditions. We're going to be good at making a great experience for our players and that kind of thing. And then what ended up happening is now year 2 and year 3, we started to inspire other programs to do similar things. And I think that's really, really cool to see, because it may not be Coach Bolton inspiring, but that kid played football. Now he's wrestling. So he's going to be taking some of those ideas to wrestling. And it was just really, really neat to see a whole community do those things and kind of have that mindset of, we're going to make this experience really, really great for all of our stakeholders. And then I love that. That's a really cool community thing.
I think Jamie brought the Cougar Run to Cannon. They were the Cougars, and all the middle school and lower school kids could run out before pregame. Jamie, did you notice Catawba Riz did that the other night? Did you see it?
I did. I love that. Yeah,
I meant to tell you. I was like, Jamie, look, but I forgot.
We had a lot of big plans for that with like flag football kids, and we'd like make it a weekly thing. We also did every senior was a captain for our home game, and so then they were able to pick a and someone from the school, not associated with football, not a parent, but someone in the school that meant a lot to them, and they became an honorary captain. So they
Right.
used to walk out there with their jersey on, and then the announcers would even say the 3 or 4 sentences about why they picked him as an honorary captain. Just little things like that that I think, it just means a lot to the community. And I think the more stakeholders, more allies you get, the better off your job's going to be.
Yeah, and we had plans to do that for football this year, and we got so busy about doing other things, we forgot to institute that into one of our games.
Oh man, that's a
It's
lot
a
of
lot.
work. It's a
It
lot of
It
is.
work.
is.
I mean,
It
it
is.
really
It's
is.
Mhm.
And you got to have people that can help. And it's hard finding help too. I'm sure because everybody's got things going on, and
oh, that's
it's
that's
a
one
lot.
thing I'm blessed with. I got 3 great assistant athletic directors,
Wow. That's awesome.
and each of them's responsible for a sport and doing certain things, and it's really helped me be able to do more of what I do now.
That's awesome. Yeah,
That
good
is.
deal. Well, Coach, you ready to get into some rapid fire questions? That's what we
Fire
typically
away.
do
Let's do
on the
it.
end of these things. But Coach Martin, you want to take the first one?
Yeah, I'm gonna put it out there, Coach. Don't feel led to say anything, but I saw that Jamie has this one on here. If you could bring back one former player or coach for one more Friday night, who would it be? No pressure. You definitely don't have to
That's
say
a tough
me.
one.
That is a tough one.
It is because I've been fortunate enough to coach a lot of great players and coach with a lot of great coaches. And of course, if I could do it, I'd run it back with Coach Adams and get it back on the sideline. And I'd probably have to bring somebody like a Marcellus Dial, who's from Woodruff, that played for Carolina and is playing for the Patriots now. And then, of course, bring back Ty Hill, who played for Clemson and the Rams and the Falcons. Probably bring back a lot of the guys from my first team at Woodland. Those were some beasts, and if they had a better head coach back then, they'd been a lot better. But those 3 individuals specifically kind of stick out. They're all 3 great men. Marcellus was a great player, and so was Ty. We coached a lot of great players at Woodruff and Union County. Give me Shy Smith all day long just to get the ball to, and we'll be fine.
Great play call. It's like,
Yeah.
get it to him. Get it to him.
Jamie, go ahead, man. What
I
you
don't
got?
know, man. I knew you're going to do this. Yeah, I don't know, man. Probably Will Jones. Will Jones at Cannon, All-American kid, great football player, would play running back. Man, him and Tyler Green were really good, man. Like those guys were really good. Quarterback and running back pair, and we could run it and throw it. That's you can win with those guys.
There's a lot, man. There's a lot of kids that come through my mind. How about Stephen Oglesby?
I was thinking Steven's up there, man.
So he's actually GA coaching at UNCC right now. But man, I was watching some York tape this week. By a week, I'm bored, man. So I'm watching some old tape, and Stephen was a game changer. Also, Khalil Ellis played at SC State, played H-back, and he is one of the probably 2 in high school. When you run power, he runs power the way H-back should run power.
Yeah.
And
I love that.
yeah, and then I would say probably most recently, give me Luke Fox from Cannon. Luke
Love
Fox, man. He was probably 175 pounds, soaking wet at will linebacker, but that kid was the most intelligent. He was going to give you everything. He was going to be where he needed to be every play. And yeah, so that's who I'd say, man.
All right, Coach. Most memorable game you've ever coached in?
Well, the first one, probably my first victory as a head football coach. We were playing at East Clarendon, and we actually had to block a field goal to win.
Oh, wow.
And won 30-28. And we actually won it on special. We won it 2 ways on special teams. We blocked their field goal, and we returned a punt about 65 yards in the last 2 minutes to win the game.
Man.
So that was crazy. And East Clarendon, small school in Turbyville, played on a baseball outfield, got a small group of stands behind you, and of course the home stands, and everybody's right on top of you. So that atmosphere that night was awesome.
That is awesome.
Then I think you got to talk about I've unfortunately coached at the reservation and got my butt kicked there, but that was a great
Been there. Yeah.
yeah. that was the new reservation, not the old reservation. But it
Yes.
was
Yeah.
still great atmosphere.
What about you, Dustin?
So, I like having a lot of different speakers on here, and we have very similar questions. I get to rehash all these old games, but my probably most memorable game was Cannon Senior Night, my first year there. Jamie, I think, was actually on a bye week. He's texting me during the game as it's going because I think he's
This
watching it.
Metrolina, the Metrolina game?
So,
yeah, what a great game.
it was we went for 2 early in the game, so we kind of had that point differential, and we are losing, I believe it was 27-22 is what I think it was. And there's a minute 40 left. We're inside the 10-yard line. I'm like, we're going to score, go up by 1, game's over. Throw a pick 6 with a minute 40 to go. So now we're down. It was 28-22.
Yeah.
So now we're down 35-22 with a minute 40 to go. And I'm like, well, we went from winning by a point and going out there and getting a stop on defense to we're getting ready to lose the game. So offense goes out there. Caleb takes them 3 plays, 80-yard score. I was like, oh, okay. Well, at least we're going to have a chance for the onside kick. Kick the onside kick. This all happens in a minute and a half. We kick the onside kick. We recover it. And when we recover it, the kid catches it in stride and runs to the end zone. Well, everybody in the stands thinks we've scored, but ball's dead where he takes possession. And then we go down there. Tyler Green, who Jamie was talking about earlier, throws a dot in the middle of the field. Colin Reese catches it 1 toe. We end up winning the game 36-35 in a minute.
That's a hard stopper right there.
Man, it is. I popped my shoulder out because I got so excited. I'm walking around and my shoulder's dislocated, the one I hurt, and I'm like,
I will say, is that the one you got repaired?
Yep.
Yeah.
So
Look, man, mine is against the same team.
Oh, really?
So, state championship year 2021, we play Metrolina at home. We're down 28-7 at half. We come back and we make it, I think it's 30, maybe it's 31-27, something like that, 31-28. And they come back and they throw a Hail Mary to beat us. Like after all that, we hit like a 43 or 48 yarder to like put us up, and then they throw a Hail Mary to beat us in the regular season at home. Then we go back in the playoffs and we score on a 2-minute drive.
The semis, right?
Semis, yeah. Let's go to the show. And we have a 2-minute drive to go up a score at halftime, and then it's back and forth. And then I think we have like 29 seconds left. It's 4th and 10 from like the 40, and we score to win the game.
There you
like
go.
Hail Mary, like almost like Hail Mary style to beat them to go to the state championship. And just 2 great games, 2 great teams, and very evenly matched, and just some really good moments. And then we end up winning state championship too. But man, that was probably the most memorable. Dustin, you were at that game.
Oh, I'm sure I was.
I think you're the one that Metrolina. Yeah, that was a wild
we
one.
were not playing in the semis wherever I was. I tell you that. All right,
Those
Coach,
are some good ones.
you've coached in the Low Country, you've coached in the Upstate, you've coached outside of South Carolina. What is one of your, and it can be 1 or 2, but favorite stadium or atmosphere that you've got a chance to coach at?
Definitely Union County Stadium, especially Gaffney week. That first time we played Gaffney over there, you have to come from the school over to Union County Stadium, and you get there at 6:45 for your for your warm-ups and everything, and the daggum stadium is already packed out. I was like, this is going to be a fun night. We end up getting our butt kicked anyway, but that was a fun night. And then I would say playing at Myrtle Beach. Playing down there is a great atmosphere. They do a great job with their game day atmosphere down there.
Good old Doug Shaw, man.
Yeah. I mean, you can't, that's a great stadium to play in. It really is.
It's a lot. It's much better to play in when you don't get beat 50-7. Because y'all went there the year after I graduated, and I think it was like, and y'all, had a bunch of injuries, but all the kids were coming back that week, and y'all, we
kind of pulled the hood over their eyes too. We had them in street clothes during warm-ups and came back out all dressed, and they were like, "Oh crap,
Ooh,
they're playing."
I like that. Yeah.
Well,
And
I didn't
We
even
got
think
beat on
about
a
it.
last-second touchdown.
We have coached against each other in 16 and 17. I forgot when y'all were at Union County.
That's
Yeah.
right. I
forgot
remember
about
that
that.
game.
Yeah.
Because
That was
y'all
a close
came
game. That was a
that
close
y'all
game.
came to us in 16 at York, beat us,
That's right.
and then we went to y'all in 17, and I think we
Yeah.
beat y'all.
Mhm.
Yeah,
That's when we
I
had the
forgot
two
about
tight ends.
that.
That was when we first started running the power spread stuff.
Yes.
I still got a lot
Yeah.
of those clips that we used, but that was
Mhm.
a tough little game. I remember we were shift the
Mhm.
age, and you guys would flip your front.
With the linebackers. Yeah.
So that's when we started doing next year. We started doing yo-yo.
Mhm.
I remember that, man. That was
Yeah.
that was a good adjustment.
Yeah.
You're running one high, so we started throwing some post wheel, but yeah, that was a good game, man. That was good.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
remember that.
To Coach Adams' dismay, I like playing one high man coverage a lot, and that kind of got us burned a couple of times.
Hey, man, you got to cover 'em, you know. Hey, man, you got
Yeah.
them in the right place. But
Yeah.
yeah, Coach. What about you, Dustin? I don't know if I can't remember if we've answered this before.
Oh, I'm sure we have, but man, I think Dorman's one of the best looking stadiums in South
yeah.
Carolina.
Yeah.
You know,
What about atmosphere for you? What about the crowd? Best crowd?
Oh, best crowd. South Aiken when we went down there in the playoffs,
That was a
man.
good one.
It was
That was 16.
that was when they were rolling. They almost beat South Point in
Mhm.
double overtime. And they're
I
the
remember that game. Yeah.
they were the inspiration
back.
for Welcome to My House plays when you score, because when they would score and that would play and the fans are going crazy, I'm
Yeah.
like, that's
That was a neat
exciting.
little
Man.
spot. Yeah.
It was.
Yeah.
I'd say that was a good atmosphere. I remember.
Yeah.
Like what about you?
Oh man, it's Crest Kings Mountain, dude. I've never seen anything like it. Both of us were 9-0. Both of us ranked 1 and 2 in the state.
Oh,
And
yeah.
if you've never gone to Cleveland County to watch a football game, it's insane. There's got to be 6,000-7,000 people at this game. I mean,
Yeah.
wild. And they always pack it out, but that was probably the biggest game between. And Kings Mountain's been playing football for over 100 years, and so
Ooh.
Crest and all that. I mean, it's a big deal.
They're like only a few miles from each other.
Correct.
Too.
It's them. It's Crest, Kings Mountain, Shelby, and Burns are all in the same county.
Yeah.
They're all really good. Like I think Crest will, they're ranked number 1 in their division this year, and Kings Mountain usually up there. So it's a big one.
I feel like the old Georgetown Carvers Bay and Georgetown Andrew games, the rivalries, crowds, like man, I just remember when, as a player, I would look out and there are people standing on the fence because there's nowhere to sit.
Yeah.
Like it's and I hate to say it, but like there are far and few rivalries like that anymore. You know what I mean? It's like like we're the one of the oldest rivalries in South Carolina reported by Max Preps was Northwestern and Rock Hill, and when we coached in that game, like I could feel the nerves, I could feel it, but it's like, it's probably nothing like what back in the day was, you know what I'm saying? Like they said in D3, there used to be people all over the hills and all of that.
Now there's
So I
3
can
schools
imagine.
now, so
Yeah.
it's a little different.
A little different. Yeah.
Well, it's like York and Clover, man. I mean, those are big. I thought those crowds were huge.
Clover's atmosphere was not bad, man.
Clover's is really good.
And dude, they used to like print like fat heads of Bobby out and like put them on a
I
stick.
remember that.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, the student section.
And a great
Oh.
student section, man. Great student section. They have a lot of good things going over there in Clover.
Well, I forgot one place, and I'd be remiss if I didn't say it, is Varner Stadium at Woodruff. That place is awesome to coach in, especially when it was Chesney or Broom Week.
Oh yeah,
that place was packed out.
Rocking.
Oh, that's a great place to coach at. Great place to have a game at for high school football, because literally the crowd is right on top of you.
We just played at Catawba Ridge. It's the same thing. They don't have a track.
Yeah.
And they got the LED lights. It's got this huge wall behind one of the end zones. Those are just neat little venues. Charlotte Catholic's like that too.
It's kind of similar to Conway in a way. It's kind of similar to Conway. Yep. That's a nice little stadium down there.
Cool. Yeah, that is a nice little stadium.
But I really like Catawba Ridge's setup. Like
that's nice.
That's a nice place. Well, Coach, man, this has been great. I knew it would be having you on here. We have a list. We've said this before, but of our guest speakers we want, and you have been on there since day one, and I'm glad we found the time to get you on here. And man, we just want to thank you so much for being on.
Well, I appreciate it, Dustin and Jamie. It's been fun watching y'all grow this thing, and been fun watching you grow as a coach too, Dustin. To say
Appreciate it.
we're proud of you for what you become, and now you got hitched, so you completed that circle now, all right?
Official old man status. Official
Yeah,
old
there
man
you go.
status.
Learn about
Join the
grass.
club.
Learn about grass and painting the walls.
Oh
man.
yeah, I'm there. Hey, there's a lot of gray up there, Coach. A lot of gray.
Yeah.
Need to turn the 4K down a little bit. There's so much gray.
That's right.
It's coming right there.
Yeah,
Notice that hairline has kind of gone back a little bit since Georgetown.
It's all that knowledge, man, that experience you've been getting. That's
I don't know
all
about
it
that.
is. But Coach, appreciate y'all. Appreciate the impact y'all had in my life. Without you and Coach Adams, who knows if I would have met Jamie or.
But Coach, it's been great having you on, and
I enjoyed it, man.
hopefully maybe do this again. Maybe we can catch up and see what's going on
absolutely.
with Coach Approach. But guys, don't forget to use promo code CoachSpeak with our awesome partners. We have Ray Crowther, Team Builder Practice, R4 Football Systems, Pro Quick Draw, Dome Headwear, and Optimum Grading. Don't forget about our BSN CoachSpeak merch, and then also Dome Headwear. We're coming out with some new hats. So we'll see you guys in the next one.
See you guys.
Thanks for tuning into the Coach Speak podcast. If you're interested in being a guest speaker on the show, we'd love to hear from you. Email us at coachspeakpodcast1@gmail.com. And if you have a question for our Q&A segment, don't forget to submit it through the form in the episode description. We appreciate your support, and we look forward to seeing you in the next episode.